I'm sure we all agree here in the Assembly and you what a fantastic job the London Fire Brigade do in keeping London safe. But in this year's budget, there's a cut of £10.8 million to the London Fire and Emergency Planning Authority. How will the London Fire Brigade be able to maintain their superb level of service with this £10.8 million cut?
Can I thank you very much for your comments about the firefighters. What you said was so important. We saw over the last couple of days the heroism of our firefighters, and so it's really important what you said, and can I echo what you said, and thank you for saying that. The budget plans for 17-18 are still being refined and updated and won't be finalised until the Fire Authority approves its final budget in March. One of the challenges I set LFIPA, and I've got a former chair sitting here and the current chair sitting here, was to do more now in the budget setting year to close the gap later in the 4-year period. I'm pleased and proud, as I'm sure the chair and the current chair will be, that they've now been able to respond to this in their next iteration of their budget, which now shows a fully balanced position for the first 3 years and a reduction of 3.3 million in the gap in the final year. This brings it down, as you alluded to, from 13.9 million to 10.6 million. LFIPA have committed to continue this process, which looks to bring forward savings wherever possible, so the gap may be reduced further. This is in addition to the work they're doing to identify further savings based upon the proposals in the new London Safety Plan. I'm pleased that my funding commitment to LFIPA has provided such financial certainty for the fire service, and it is good there is a balanced position for 3 years.
Thank you. In the copy of the budget I've got, there is a reduction of 0.4 million in operational staff from 234.3 to 233.9 million, so £400,000 cut in operational staff. Now, I don't know if that's been updated now by LFIPA, but would that mean that there will be any cuts in staffing, operational staff?
Can I just reassure you, and I'm not sure about the exact figure, but there will be no fire stations closing down, no fire engines lost, no firefighters lost. We are doing some asset management planning. I referred to this in the Budget and Performance Committee in response to a question that Assembly Cooper raised about her concern about fire stations closures going forward. And I reassured her then that what we're doing is looking at our estate. So we're not closing down because we need to make cuts or savings. We are looking at our assets. But to reassure you, there isn't a situation as there had been in previous years of stations, engines or firefighters being lost.
Okay, thank you. The other big cut I see in the, it's a table here on page 63 of the document I've got, is a figure relating to other staff is going down from 55.4 to 49.8. So that's a reduction of 5.4 million in the budget for other staff, so non-operational staff. What does this mean for the fire?
Those are the efficiency savings that the London Fire Brigade recognised they have to do, and they're up for it. If you remember, the Anthony Mayer report looked at some of the decisions made previously and asked the question, I'm paraphrasing the question, so forgive me if I'm not exact. You know, are we fit for purpose? Can we make, you know, can the fire service keep London safe? And the conclusion he reached was, because of the fantastic work of firefighters and the leaders, we can do it, and we can also make the efficiency savings that we need to make over the next few years. That's why I'm pleased there's a balanced budget, but it's going to be tough. The new commissioner, who is fantastic, she recognises she's got to make these savings. Relations between you know, firefighters and the management is good, and so, you know, I'm hopeful we're going to get there.
You mentioned the Mayor report, but there's also the Harris review as well, and one of the recommendations is that we need more training in preparation for a marauding terrorist firearm attack, specialist training for firefighters. Now, I understand that you're having negotiations, or someone in your team is negotiating with the Home Office to get extra funding for that purpose. Can you give us an update of how the progress of the negotiations
I mean,
are going?
you'll be aware, and I know it's frustrating for Assembly members, I think it's not right to give a running commentary on discussions with central government, because there's a sense of goodwill that takes place between us and ministers and their officials and stuff. So all I will say is I think it's a good thing that the Fire Minister is also the Policing Minister. It's a good thing about, and I think Assembly Member Prince referred to this, his experience in local government helps as well. And so, look, I mean, let's wait and see. I mean, they've got the Harris report. They understand the concerns raised in relation to marauding terrorists, firearms attack. They understand the concerns that Lord Harris had, and so I'm always hopeful with negotiations.
Okay, thank you.